When blood and guts shows from various streaming platforms weren't a thing, people had to look somewhere else to get their TV watching thrills. And when it comes to thrilling couch potatoes, nothing beats a good old-fashioned police car chase. And when you know, we have 10 of them right here. Number 10. Stealing a cop car. Criminals are getting bolder and bolder nowadays, and this first guy on our list proves just that. This guy hijacked not one, but 2 vehicles. One of them was, which should be obvious to you by just listening to the intro to this segment, a police cruiser. The suspect was involved in an armed robbery earlier in the day and was trying to get away in his white sedan. Unfortunately, he went off-road, which sedans aren't really made for, which basically disabled his car. But before his car dies down, he hijacked at gunpoint a passing pickup truck. He led the police on a merry off-road chase again until he crashed the truck. Chase over, right? Wrong. The guy legged it, still trying to evade capture. He ran towards one of the parked cop cars that was previously chasing him and drove off with it. Police were basically unaware of this development. So much so that other police cars just drove by him. Good thing a news helicopter was monitoring the entire thing, and the cops were notified of the carjacking. More off-road shenanigans ensued until the suspect was cornered by the cops, ending the chase. Number 9. Dangerous highway shootout. This guy definitely doesn't want to get caught. The man on the passenger seat was a suspect on a liquor store robbery that led to the shooting of the store owner, which happened a few days prior to this incident. Police follow-ups led to the police tracking the suspect down. He chose escape rather than arrest, which resulted in this police car chase. The police boxed the suspect and his driver in, but instead of coming out peacefully, he pulled out a gun and fired at the police, forcing the police to fire back. One bystander was grazed by a stray bullet, but nothing serious. The same can't be said for the 2 occupants of the car. The driver, who was wounded at the shootout, came to her senses and exited the vehicle, surrendering herself to the police. The shooter, on the other hand, wouldn't budge. After a tense 45-minute standoff, it took a flashbang grenade and a canine to finally get the suspect out of the car, strapped to a stretcher. Number 8. Chopper chase. Now here's a different kind of police chase. While the police were definitely involved, the hero of the day is the carjacked truck owner, who personally chased the carjacker down. How did he chase him down when his truck was stolen, I hear you ask? Simple. He used his helicopter. Emmanuel Toner stepped into the office of a gas station to get his receipt. Since he was only going to be gone for a few seconds, he decided to keep his engine running. When he got out of the office, he saw his truck speeding away. He let the police know what happened, of course, but he decided to use his private helicopter to help the police in the search. And so he did, quickly spotting the stolen truck from above and relaying the information to the police, who in turn used the information to quickly apprehend the carjacker. Number 7. Stop a crook? Get sued? Here's a bit of injustice for you. But before we get to that part, let me tell you the story behind this car chase. Police tried to intercept the car driven by Aaron Vilbro for speeding, but instead of pulling over, he opted to lead the cops into a wild car chase through the busy streets of Melbourne, Australia. He can be seen weaving in and out of traffic, narrowly missing other cars on the road, running lights, and generally driving so haphazardly, it's amazing he didn't hit any other cars along the way. Now, Vilbro had a couple good reasons why he opted to do a runner. One is that he was just released from prison, and 2, he had drugs in the car. Vilbro was being pursued by Sergeant Pickering, and the footage you were seeing was taken from his dash cam, but another police officer was in pursuit as well, Constable Brett McCormick. Instead of joining the high-speed pursuit, he wisely waited on a street he knew Vilbro would be driving through, and when he saw Vilbro coming, he rammed his car into the side of Vilbro's car, thus preventing further property damage or even loss of life. But get this, McCormick was actually charged for reckless conduct. Apparently, Melbourne police had no policy regarding ramming cars to end a pursuit. McCormick, rightfully so in my opinion, pleaded not guilty. Number 6. Who needs tires? Just a word of advice, guys. If the cops ask you to stop your vehicle, just please stop your vehicle, because if you don't, a minor traffic violation may balloon into something much worse, like this lady here for instance. All the cops did was ask her to pull over. No crime was committed whatsoever, but for some reason the lady decided to give the cops a merry old chase. I have to applaud the patience the cops showed for this lady though. There were numerous chances for them to forcibly stop her vehicle, but the worst they did was force her through some road spikes, which blew out all of her tires. You'd think that would be enough to stop this lady, but again, wrong. The high-speed chase turned into a low-speed one, obviously because her tires were out. But despite that, she was still able to escape from a police blockade. The chase only ended when she decided to drive into a shopping outlet, where she was finally boxed in. But she isn't going down without a fight still, forcing officers to pin her down on the pavement before cuffing her. Number 5. High-impact ending. A carjacking of a truck in Pasadena, California, turned into a high-speed police car chase which happened in suburban streets. The chase often reached highway speeds, which obviously is a dangerous speed when traveling in residential roads. The whole chase lasted for 45 minutes, with the hijacked truck weaving in and out of traffic and having all four wheels off the ground at some points. It's amazing that the truck never hit any other vehicle on the road. That is until near the end, when it crashed into another car, giving the police an opportunity to arrest the driver, who gave himself up with no resistance. Number 4. Useless taser. Police were called into a stabbing incident in Dayton, Ohio, in what they hoped to be a routine arrest. Well, as routine as the situation called for. When the police arrived at the location, the suspect got into his truck and floored it. He didn't get far though, as he almost immediately crashed his truck. The suspect wasn't going to be arrested without a fight though. He somehow managed to jump into the driver's seat of a police cruiser, one of the many cruisers that responded to the scene. When the police officer saw this, he shot the suspect with a taser at point-blank range. Remarkably, the suspect was still able to recklessly drive away, in reverse. What ensued was a crazy car chase in the suburban roads of Dayton, leaving a lot of damaged cars in its wake. Unfortunately, the crazed suspect crashed into a minivan containing 7 kids, 2 of which suddenly passed. The horrific chase ended abruptly when the suspect crashed the stolen police car into a pole, just outside the Dayton Metro Library. He was promptly arrested, and something tells me that he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. Number 3. Road rage up a notch. When I first watched this video, I was amazed that nobody got killed during this carnage. When you see it for yourself, you'll probably think the same. Julianne Rainbird of California decided to steal an RV one day and led police on a dangerous car chase in the suburbs of Southern California. She weaved in and out of traffic and at one point slammed into a palm tree, tearing away the front side of the RV. That didn't stop her though, even hitting multiple cars along her path. Causing multiple injuries to bystanders wasn't enough to stop her rampage. The scene looks like it came out of Mad Max, with debris strewn everywhere across 2 Californian neighborhoods. She had 2 dogs with her. One of them seemed to have had enough of the high-speed chase, and jumped out of the moving RV through the gaping hole at the front where the windshield used to be. The dog suffered 2 broken legs, but recovered. The chase ended when the RV hit the rear of a car reversing out of a driveway, rendering both vehicles useless. Rainbird then legged it, accompanied by her remaining dog, but was soon arrested. Number 2. He almost got away. Carjacker and career criminal Mohammed Ahmed Abu Shliba stole a Dodge Challenger Hellcat and led police on an extremely dangerous freeway car chase on the I-10. He was being pursued by cop cars, but given that he was driving a car with a 707 horsepower engine, he quickly left them all in the dust. 2 helicopters were also in pursuit, a police chopper and a newscopter. But Abu Shliba was driving so fast, take note, that both choppers' top speed was 120 miles per hour. He was outrunning the choppers as well. The police chopper eventually had to bow out because it was running out of fuel, leaving the news chopper to continue with the pursuit, but he was still able to outrun it, leaving the news crew to rely on zooming in on the car just to not lose sight of him. But this also proved futile, as the Charger was soon too far away for even the camera to follow its movements. He was only caught when he abandoned his car, which probably ran out of gas and was found on the side of the highway, and ran into the woods. Officers searched for the driver amid the brush before he was spotted, walking casually and talking on his cell phone. A deputy tackled the man, and he was taken into custody by helicopter. Number 1. A high-stakes game of chicken. This technically isn't a high-speed car chase, but I had to include it anyway, and you'll soon see the reason why. Wyoming police sergeants Rob Meredith and Chris DeBoer were called in to apprehend a suspected drunk driver driving his truck the wrong way on US Highway 131. Instead of going on a hot pursuit, which most cops would probably do, they opted to get ahead of the driver and block his passage. The cops positioned themselves in the middle of the highway, waiting for the suspect to arrive. They first saw headlights coming toward them at speeds in excess of 80 miles per hour. The cops fully expected the drunk driver to stop when he saw them parked there, but he didn't. I'm not sure if the drunk driver did it on purpose or was asleep behind the wheel, but he rammed the cop cruiser head on. If it weren't for the quick thinking of Sergeant DeBoer, who angled the police car at the last second, both cops and the other driver could have been killed. The impact instead broke one of the front wheels of the truck, which ended the entire ordeal. The drunk driver was sentenced to 15 months to 5 years in prison. What's the most thrilling car chase that you know of? Let us know down in the comments. Also, make sure to hit subscribe as well as the notification bell. That way, you'll get notified every time we upload new and amazing content just like this. Again, thanks for watching and see you on the next video.